let's see how big this small country is.
Israel is very similar to America.
Specifically Israel? Yeah. Well,
it opens your eyes to more experiences, and it's a lot different than learning just in the same place in the States. I don't know, I chose Israel. I've been here before many times, and I love it here so much. It feels like just like at home.
I don't know.
Actually, the main reason I came here wasn't to study. It was more so to experience Israel, see what it was like to live here. Also, like Jordan, half my family lives here. And so it was my way of getting to know them.
At first I've said Israel because I was here and I fell in love with it. And then my brother said, "You're an idiot."
I just don't feel at home here, because it's not my country. I mean, as my Jew, it's my country, but I'm not an Israeli. But I think it's really easy to adjust here.
I don't feel like I'm getting treated much. So I only say a few words at a time, people aren't going to notice that I'm not Israeli.
I feel like a gaudy American who's putting my language on someone else.
Just people have to speak English to me sometimes, or speak slower in Hebrew. Maybe they talk about different things, but...
Like Americans, I think we have the reputation for being very loud and obnoxious.
If you go around being like obnoxious Americans, then people are obviously going to look at you.
You need a real reason why you would want to come here.
The way the media portrays it, you would think it's like you can't even step outside your house. Like, it's like not a real land. People live here.
The more informed people were like, cool, good for you. And the less informed people were like, don't go anywhere where they're going to want to blow you up. So I feel like I get treated mostly the same. I mean, the big difference is cab drivers try to rip you off. But besides that...
I don't have any issues with being a foreigner here.
Before they know I'm Canadian, they give me the hardcore, straightforward, Israeli attitude. It's not necessarily a bad attitude. But yeah.
I think, like Americans, whatever we are, we're very polite, like, and phony. We wear a mask. And when you go to, like, a store, like a bank or someone, you're very polite. You're like, hi, how are you? How's your day? You don't really care what the answer is, but you say it. And here, people just come in, they're like, blah, 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 blah. And, like, they're like, get out of my way, bitch. Like, I want to do this, And I think so because, like, they say in Israel the only way to get things done is to be, like, really aggressive. And, like so lately, like, usually I'm like, oh, like, very polite and nice. But lately, like, when I've been getting irritated, I've just been like, get out of my way, I'm going to do what I want, like yelling and like, not yelling, like being assertive.
My mother's very afraid that I will keep on bargaining when I'm coming home and that people will be very mad at me for doing that.
Israelis they cut to the chase, they don't bullshit.
What sometimes it's like kind of like mafrid, new Hebrew word. Seriously, what sometimes is like intimidating me is that I become already behaving like an Israeli sometimes,
I mean, I'm way less polite than I was when I came here, right, Lauren?
You're from New York.
Well, I wasn't too polite in the first place,
yeah.
But I mean,
which is not bad, but
it's definitely a more aggressive culture.
Another thing that's shocking to me is that people, no offense to the Israelis who are watching, but Israelis are very pushy.
Lines at the supermarket?
They don't wait in line. A lot of them, not all. I don't want to generalize.
There's no such thing as one.
But you're waiting in line and, like, people just go in front of you and they push in front of you. And in America, you don't butt.
There's no real
such thing as
customer service.
in Israel.
Maybe it's especially in Tel Aviv, but I don't know, like, people are very, like, on German standards or European standards, are very rude. Like, they wouldn't say slicha if they, like, pass by like this,
Get out of my way, bitch.
No, and let's just don't talk about the driving here.
The way certain Israelis act, I suppose, the Al-Sim factor is definitely, very out there.
What I found very, very funny was the arse. Because they dress like they're gay.
Creepy, creepy, creepy.
They wear belly shirts and, like, tight jeans.
Creepy, creepy, creepy.
And then they're, like, these thugs that, like, have knives and, like, start fights with you.
I mean, you're in a different culture, so, you play by those rules.
I was talking to my friend.
Start something.
In States, there's no, like, comparison. Like, you can't even, like,
Yeah, we typically here.
You just don't have that.
Yeah.
You have, like, you just don't.
Is that creepy?
With the language barrier, I would actually take advantage of it. It's a perfect icebreaker for meeting Israeli women. You just speak in English or, broken Hebrew, and right away they're like, "Oh, you're American, aren't you?" So, to me, it's not a barrier; it's an advantage.
Back home, Hebrew, when I tell them I'm studying Hebrew, they say, "Okay, weirdo, how do you write my name?" And here, of course, they're relying on your knowledge of Hebrew. They're depending on that. And they see how you speak it, and it's something like, okay.
It's like they're extra nicer to me than they were before. Like I'm not really real. They're like, "Oh, you're American. I have family in America." And I'm like, America's really big. And they're like, "We have family in Texas." And I'm like, "Okay, that's like 3 hours for me."
Oh, where are you from? And I say, New York. And they say, oh, I went to New York once, or I have a cousin in New York, or that's it. You know, otherwise they treat me just like a normal person. Maybe a little bit nicer. I don't know. I've never been in the shoes of an Israeli. Maybe they're even nicer to me since I'm American.
You finish high school, you're 18. You go to the army. You either get toughened out or whatever it is. You know, you see serious shit. Versus the students in America, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what the hell they want to do with their lives. They're like, I'm going to college, and half the reason they go is to have a good time.
In the United States, you start college at 18, and I don't think it's right.
I see these kids, and they're my age, and it's like, I kind of feel like I'm younger than them for some reason, just because they have the responsibility of carrying a gun and, you know, dealing with, like, life and death situations. I don't really know how much combat or anything they're seeing, but it's just different.
Can I compare the dorms? Let me count thy ways.
It's kind of like comparing the Hilton to a homeless shelter, pretty much. There's just no comparison. This. I wish this was the Hilton. No, I mean, I had a little apartment arrangement back home, and everything was very convenient. Everything was clean, carpets, all that.
If anybody in the dorm's office is watching this, I want you to know that I'm very angry. I'm gonna point my finger. I'm very angry. These dorms are disgusting. Let's go over it, okay? Let me do a tour.
They were definitely better at the old school. You know, they had air conditioning. They had, you know, they were carpeted. A little bit newer, but that's to say this isn't bad. You know, we tend to keep our room pretty clean, genuinely. And, you know, also we have a beautiful view, so we really don't complain at all.
I was like, this place is a shithole. Like,
I don't want to smell that. It's not healthy.
The only difference is the dorms there had air conditioning.
Paint jobs are sloppy. The lights are falling out of the sockets.
This place is disgusting. They need to tear it down and build new dorms for us.
my room here is bigger in terms of like the actual size. But I mean, it's a dump here.
It's not a mattress, it's a foam pad.
I used to live in my fraternity house. And I mean, fraternity houses, you know, aren't necessarily the cleanest places anyways. Because you're living with a bunch of guys. But the main difference, I think, anyways, is not being able to bring friends over after 12 p.m.
Like, no, it's just, look at this, wooden on the walls.
And I mean, in general, the buildings, like I was saying, they look like the projects.
The desk is falling apart.
Also, it's very, very cold in Boston, so there's heating.
What is this place?
They're a lot more central to campus life, both in terms of their location and their function in the campus community. Whereas here, they're sort of pushed to the side because most people don't live in the dorms.
This is where I live. Someone came in here and told me it looks like a refugee camp.
Also, my friend was telling me that I should be looking forward to the cockroaches coming in the summer.
There's a cat that lives here.
I do love being in the dorms and just randomly walking onto people's doors, knocking on them, and seeing what people are doing.
And there's a rat.
My sister used to say it looks like an Arabic prison.
Does it pay rent? No! Why do I have to pay rent at that fucking rat? Doesn't have to pay rent. He gives me fleas. There's 3 washing machines and 1 dryer. And that's for Millman, Brodetsky, and Einstein. Is there ever a washing machine that's free? No. Is there ever a dryer that's free? No. I want a washing machine in this building. Okay? Okay.
If we were too comfortable in here, we wouldn't be motivated to leave. Is this being filmed?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I thought we were off the record here.
Yeah, we are.
Wow, Leab.
I'm blind, you know. You can't help these things.
Wants to get the biceps.
Yeah.
Like a muscle one.
Please don't put this. Please don't put this in your video. Please.
It's one of those little those things we like about Israel. Like they just go above and beyond.
Yeah.
He's like, there's rules here. Don't fuck with the Israelis. And like he's like, have fun visiting this country. And it was like, what?
Haiti osalo tova.
Oh, you go for a haircut and they dye your nose hair.
Why? Do you people care where we live? No. I want my money back. Bitches.
Don't believe everything you see on TV.